What's up, everybody, and welcome to Wildcard Sports. In today's video, we are going to go over the MLB champion tiers, and we're also going to look at the MLB champion blueprint, what it takes to become a World Series champion, what stats you need to hit that teams have hit in the past to become and win the World Series. So we're going to go over each tier 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to show you guys in a second here. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you're new. We're doing this all the way up until playoffs. This is going to really help you place a futures bet. It's going to really help you fill out a playoff bracket or just have bragging rights with your friends predicting the winner of the World Series. And these tiers, this blueprint has proven to be extremely accurate year after year. So the blueprint I've been talking about is this one right here. They have to hit 7 categories to have the best chance to win the World Series. These are the categories right here. I'm not going to go too much into each single category, but feel free to pause the video, screenshot it, whatever you got to do. And if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments what questions you have on the blueprint. But like I said, if you're hitting 7 out of 7 of these categories, you have the best chance to win the World Series. If you're hitting 6 out of 7 categories, you have a very good chance of winning the World Series. There's been teams in the past that hit 6 out of 7 categories and still won the World Series. But teams that do worse than that hit like 5 categories, 4 categories or less, they don't win the World Series. It happens year after year. And maybe this could be the year that the blueprint gets flipped on its head. I really doubt it. But there are some teams in here that would surprise you that aren't hitting all the categories, and there's some teams that surprise you that are hitting the categories. So with that being said, let's look at the tier. We're going to just start with tier 4. And tier 4 could surprise you. So let's look at it right here. The Padres and the Mets. The Mets don't surprise me and shouldn't surprise you because they have been dropping games. They're slipping. They were fighting it out with the Phillies for first place, but they've been slipping. Phillies have just been getting hotter. But the Padres have been playing well. You know, they seem like a team that has a chance to win the World Series. But when you look at the blueprint, they're only hitting 3 of these categories. So teams hitting 3 or less of these categories are a tier 4 team. So you see them there. Where else do we see him? We see him in top 17 BIP. And yeah, you see him in 2 categories. And that's it. So that is not good for San Diego. Not at all. When you look at the Mets, you only see him in 1, 2 categories. You see him in 3 categories. And like I said, 3 categories or less, tier 4. Moving on to tier 3. Really quick here. And this will really surprise you. The Houston Astros, the Phillies, the Yankees, and the Mariners. The Yankees wouldn't surprise you because the Yankees have been playing horrible lately. They've been doing bad the whole second half of the season so far, and they've just been dropping down the rankings. The Yankees were ranked in tier 1 most of the season. Then they dropped to tier 2, and now they're in tier 3, and by the end of the season, they could very well drop to tier 4. They've been hitting all the categories all season long, but they're just slipping out of every single category for the MLB blueprint. So the Yankees in tier 3 shouldn't be a big surprise here. But the biggest surprise of them all, I would have to say the Phillies. The Phillies are in tier 3, the small chance of winning the World Series. I know Philly fans would be shocked and are shocked to see this, the Phillies in tier 3, but they aren't hitting the categories we need them to hit for the MLB blueprint. You got to hit at least 6 out of 7 to have the best chance. 7 out of 7 is even greater, but you got to hit at least 6 out of 7. We only see the Phillies 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's it. We see the Phillies 4 times. We don't see them in top 17 BIP, top 15 in DEF, and top 15 in DRS. They are not there, but they could be getting very close to being in the top 15, top 17 of these categories. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that. So the Phillies could make their way to tier 2 by the end of the season, of course. Don't think they're going to hit tier 1, but if they hit tier 2 by the end of the season, the Phillies have a really good chance of winning the World Series. But if the playoffs were to start right now and the Phillies were going into the playoffs, I would not put any money on the Phillies right now because they have not hit the categories we needed. And yes, I know the Phillies are going to be very healthy going into the playoffs. A lot of people are out right now, and they're coming back strong, especially in their pitching area. So when the Phillies get healthy, they could be scary, of course. So I'm not counting them out completely. But as of now, if the playoffs started right now, I would not waste any money on the Phillies. But we'll keep an eye on them all season long. Don't worry about that. All right, moving on to, also another team you might be surprised about being in Tier 3, the Mariners. Mariners have been playing great, but they're still not hitting the categories we need. We see them in 1, 2, let's see. Yeah, we only see them in 2 categories. Is that right? I wrote them all down here before. No, we see them in 3 categories. Sorry about that. Yeah, we see them in 3 categories. And there we are. Top 15, very bottom here at DRS. 3 categories. I wouldn't trust the Mariners at all. I wouldn't waste my money on the Mariners if the playoffs started right now because we need them to hit more categories for the MLB blueprint to have more confidence in the Seattle Mariners going into the playoffs. But if the playoffs started now for the Seattle Mariners, don't waste your money on them. They're not going to do much if the playoffs started now. But we'll keep an eye on the Mariners as the season goes on. Same with the Astros. You see the Astros in 1, 2, 3, 4 categories here, and that's not good enough. We need to see them at least in 5, or at least in 6 to 7 categories for them to have a chance. So I wouldn't waste my money on the Astros yet either, and that's why they are in Tier 3. So we'll keep an eye on all these teams here. So let's look at Tier 2 and see if your team is in Tier 2. So we got the Dodgers and the Red Sox. Only 2 teams in Tier 2, and that is because they're hitting at least 6 categories. And the Dodgers have been in the Tier 2 actually all season long, surprisingly. They're just not hitting all 7 categories like we need them to do in the blueprint. We go back here, and it's in pitching. We don't see the Dodgers. Actually, sorry, we don't see the Dodgers in top 15 in DEF either. So Tier 2 is hitting 5 to 6 categories. I forgot to say that. But teams in the past hit at least 6 categories. I know this is very confusing when I say it all, but it makes, it's pretty simple when you really break it down. You got to hit at least 6 categories to win the World Series. So we don't see the Dodgers in 2. So right now, if the playoffs were to start, I wouldn't like the Dodgers' chances of repeating and winning the championship again. That's just me, but we're going off stats here, and I don't think the Dodgers would repeat if the playoffs started now. But I do love the Red Sox. Red Sox are hitting 6 categories, so that is great to hear, or great to see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where are they? 5, 6. So they're just not doing well in pitching, but that's not a huge deal right now because, teams have hit 6 out of 7 win the World Series, and that's fine. Last but not least here, we're going to look at Tier 1 teams, and these teams, some of them could surprise you. Here we go. The Cubs, Brewers, Detroit Tigers, and the Toronto Blue Jays are in Tier 1. These are the teams that, wow, you probably did not expect to see in Tier 1, especially when the season started. I mean, most of the teams, you're like, they're not Tier 1 teams, maybe Tier 2 and below, but the Brewers have been really hot. The Blue Jays have been hot. The Tigers have been like up and down. The Cubs have been up and down, but they're doing well enough to hit 7 of 7 categories. Teams in the Tier 1 area hit 7 of 7 categories for the MLB champion blueprint right here. And when you hit 7 of 7, you have the best chance to win the World Series. So we love to see that. Of course, not all the teams can win it here. So, putting your money on all of them, you got to make sure you do it where you could profit either way. So I'm going to have little bits of money on each team in Tier 7, of course, and in Tier 2. Like I said, I'm not wasting my money on the Phillies, Astros, Yankees, and Mariners right now. But if the playoffs were to start today, I love the chances Cubs, Brewers, Tigers, or the Toronto Blue Jays to win the World Series, and possibly even the Dodgers or the Red Sox to win it all. So those are my tiers. This is not based off my opinion. I know a lot of people get on me because they're like thinking this is my opinion. I'm putting them in these tiers. They think I'm crazy for putting some of these teams in certain tiers, but I'm basing it all off the blueprint right here. It's all based off the blueprint. And year after year, it is accurate. So maybe another year is going to happen where it's accurate, but maybe it could be flipped upside down on its head. That's the beauty about sports. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be very accurate again. So, like I said, just follow along. Subscribe to the channel. We're doing this all the way up until playoffs. And we're going to be making updates throughout the playoffs so I could show you guys, hey, focus on these teams in Tier 1 and Tier 2 as the playoffs go on. It worked for hockey. It worked for the NBA. We do these blueprints for every sport, and it's accurate every single time. So I appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Have a good day. Peace out.